Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to go over everything I picked up on Blu-ray and 4K Ultra HD for April 2022. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Movie Guy 365. Okay, in this video, I will be going over everything I picked up on Blu-ray and 4K for April 2022. There were a lot of great new releases that came out this month on both 4K and Blu-ray. And of course, as usual, I picked up a few stuff that was on my Amazon wish list from way back when. So let's not waste any time. Let's dive right into everything I picked up. So this first one is from director Peter Jackson. And it's funny because it's one of those movies that I love the director, and I believe after this one I have all of his films on the physical formats that are available. But for some reason I didn't own this one. It wasn't until I saw my wife was scrolling through Hulu and saw a trailer for this, and I'm like, huh, no, I've got this one on disc. And I checked and I did not have it. So I immediately rectified that and ordered the Blu-ray, and that is The Lovely Bones from director Peter Jackson. Of course, he's fantastic, you know, as a director, and he really puts together a compelling, semi-thriller with some amazing acting talent behind this one. I'm hoping that we get a 4K upgrade one day for it. I would absolutely love it. His visual style is great. So yeah, The Lovely Bones, finally got that one on Blu-ray. It still shocks me I didn't have this one, but yeah, that is now in my collection. This next one was another I've been waiting for a 4K release, and you know, like just The Lovely Bones, hopefully one day it'll happen. And that is Daniel Day-Lewis and There Will Be Blood. It's been a number of years since I've seen this one. I wanted to really rewatch it in the very near future, so I picked it up on Blu, got it for very cheap. Very intense film, very intense. Daniel Day-Lewis, once again, shows off why he's one of the best actors of our age. I love it. Check this one out if you haven't. It's absolutely cool. So yeah, There Will Be Blood. I picked that one up. This one was a direct result of watching the Academy Awards, and I'm just like kind of like going towards my short list of you know, award films on the format I wanted to pick up. No Country for Old Men. Yeah, it's been a few years since I've seen this one. In fact, I only really remember bits and pieces of it. I've seen it once. But I did want to pick this one up again, and I'm glad I did. Hopefully, once again, 4K will be down the line. But yeah, speaking of intense, another one. And it's also got like one of those endings where it's kind of like, it's not just all tied up in a nice bow. It's really got kind of like a darker ending to it. But yeah, great performances. So I'm happy to have this one in my collection. No Country for Old Men. Going back to the Oscars. No, this one I featured in a video of Oscar winners that deserve a 4K release, and it was cheap too, so on Blu-ray. So Out of Africa, you know, with Meryl Streep and Robert Redford, great film. I think it would make a beautiful 4K edition. But yeah, and it's been about 10 years since I've seen this one. I think it's about time for a rewatch, so I'm anxious to check it out again on Blu-ray. So yeah, Out of Africa. Speaking of Meryl Streep, this one was, my wife had never seen it before, and I think she ran across a trailer, and I was like, another one I thought I had in my collection. But so Bridges of Madison County, starring Clint Eastwood and Meryl Streep. Great director and actor, of course, you know, fantastic film. It's, you know, it's just beautifully shot. This one I'm anxious to revisit, and this is released by Warner Brothers, so watch, they're going to announce a 4K at some point in the near future. But yeah, Bridges of Madison County, now part of the collection. This one I'm a fan of Terrence Malick, and this is the only of his films I don't have on a physical media. Knight of Cups. If you know Malick films, you know what you're getting into. It's definitely got all those benchmarks and style. Great cast. But it's not his strongest efforts. I still feel that, you know, Tree of Life, The Thin Red Line are two of his strongest movies. A New World. This one's still good. I like it, and I'll be revisiting this one on Blu-ray very soon. So yeah, Knight of Cups on. And this one is like, I was kind of giving up hope on 20th Century releasing catalog stuff on 4K and physical format. Just that whole thing with Disney and them, so decided to get the Blu-ray. The Sound of Music, excellent film, beautifully, shots. Julie Andrews in the main role, just great, awesome. Maybe luck will have it, and one day we'll get an upgrade. But Sound of Music on Blu-ray is now part of my collection. This is another one that I've been, reading. I read up on movies that I think are going to get potential upgrades in the near future, and then eventually you kind of get the realization there's either not going to be enough interest, or maybe some boutique will have to take over. But I really wanted to watch this one again, and I think the reason I sold the Blu-ray was during the early days of 4K. I'm like, oh no, this is going to get a 4K. It definitely needs it. But it's probably not. The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. Beautiful film. I really think it's underrated. It's just one of those movies that doesn't get nearly enough attention. And of course you have, camera work, or not camera work, but you have like cinematography by Roger Deakins. Beautifully made movie. One day hopefully we'll get an upgrade. I think the audio is just not the best on this one. I remember having the Blu-ray before, as I said, but yeah, I'm anxious to revisit this one again on Blu-ray. But yeah, I like it. Check this one out. It is fantastic. This is one of the new releases for this past month. I also threw it in my April recommendations video if you want to check that one out. Joaquin Phoenix and Come On from A24 and Lionsgate. Great movie. It's just a small character piece. It's shot in black and whites, but it's a good story. I think it's what if you're familiar with A24 films, you kind of know the style. And this one really just, I think, is awesome. I loved it. It was a great viewing. I would recommend it. You watch it. But yeah, it is available on Blu-ray from Lionsgate. And this one was a blind buy. It's been sitting on my wish list for a while. And it was like $5 from Amazon. So I'm like, okay, it's worth a checking out. Random Acts of Violence. I'll be honest, I didn't like it. The only reason I'm keeping it around is for this video. I'm going to immediately throw this in my sell pile. It just didn't work for me. It didn't. I know the director, of course, he's an actor also. I like him as an actor, but I'm kind of coming around to the fact that whenever he's behind the camera and he's directing, I'm probably not going to like it, because he directed the second Goon movie, which I love the original Goon. Goon was awesome, but he directed the second one. I felt it was such a step down. So I kind of contributed it to like, oh, maybe he's finding his foot as a director, but I don't know. Maybe a case can be made for this one too, but I don't know. I think I'll see him in a movie, but I won't see him because he directed one. I personally didn't like this one. $5 down the drain. It happens. But Random Acts of Violence, don't recommend it. But let me know in the comments if you've seen it. What did you think? So yeah, I'm not a fan. As for my pickups on 4K Ultra HD for April, there were quite a bit of new releases and some good exciting stuff. First up, Kino Lorber's edition of In the Heat of the Night, starring Sidney Poitier. I like this one a lot. It's a good crime drama, and of course it deals with the racial tensions, but I know a lot of people were down on this 4K disc because it does not include HDR, but I do think that the 4K resolution more than makes up for it. It's got a good look to it. So I would give this one a shot, especially if you own the Blu-ray. Definitely, I think, I mean, I don't actually own the Criterion, so I can't really do an A-B comparison. You might want to keep your hands on the Criterion edition, but if you've never owned a physical copy of it, I would recommend In the Heat of the Night on 4K. This is a recent release from 20th Century Studios or Pictures. Death on the Nile, of course, directed by Kenneth Branagh. I liked it. It had some, it's a good mystery. Some of the location using green screen CG backdrops was a little distracting for me personally, but the 4K transfer I feel is excellent. So yeah, if you like Murder on the Orient Express, you're going to be right at home with this one. So yeah, I picked this one up in April. Decent. This one was the big release of 2021, made the most money. It's a great Marvel film, and of course it has a lot of good MCU stuff with Spider-Man. Spider-Man No Way Home with the Steelbook edition from Best Buy. Fantastic. The transfer, picture and audio are excellent. I did a review if you want to hear my thoughts on that. But the Steelbook edition, I'm a Steelbook collector just in general, but of course when it comes to the MCU films, I have them all in Steelbook. So of course I had to get this one as well. And excellent, excellent film on 4K. Sony did a really great job with this one. Check it out. The latest in the Scream franchise, the Scream 2022. I like the Steelbook. I think the Steelbook's got a cool artwork to it. And I think the disc is also very solid. I remember giving it a good review on the 4K. So yeah, I like this one quite a bit. I think as far as the other Scream sequels go, it's probably like my third favorite. But I think it works, and it's got some great characters and some cool stuff happens in it. So yeah, Scream on 4K, check it out. Another release. Arrow Video was quite busy in April, I'll tell you that. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein on 4K Ultra HD. Good looking picture. It's been a number of years since I watched it, so rewatching it on the 4K, I was kind of very impressed with it. But yeah, it's a decent story. De Niro is fantastic as the creature, and I think Arrow did a great job on this one. But yeah, I would recommend it. If you've never seen it, you may want to rent it first. But yeah, if you put this one on your shelf, go for the 4K edition. This one I felt was an excellent transfer. It was one of my most anticipated to arrive on 4K. The Steelbook edition of Robocop is probably one of my favorite Steelbooks of the year so far. Love it. I think the transfer was excellent. And the Atmos audio upgrade, top notch. It was really good. I think Arrow Video did an excellent job with this one. I recommend it highly to pick this one up on 4K. And in my opinion, go for the Steelbook because it's just beautiful. It is beautiful. I would put this on my wall, honestly. It's that good looking. But yeah, if you want to hear my thoughts on Robocop on 4K, check out that review. I will go ahead and make that available for you in the description of this video. So yeah, Robocop, yes, on 4K. This next one caught me by full surprise on how good the 4K edition was. Sony's release of Heavy Metal, loved it. And I think the Atmos blew me away how good it was. I mean, typically animated films don't have the best audio, but this one did a great job. I was very impressed, and of course the picture quality I think is a nice upgrade. If you are in any way a fan of this film, check it out. Once again, I did a review for this one on the channel, so if you want to hear my thoughts on it. Heavy Metal on 4K, Steelbook edition, not exclusive to any retailer, so yes, absolutely watch this one on the format. This one, it's a movie. I more or less did it to review for this particular channel. I don't know if I'm going to keep this one in my collection very long. I always believe in a movie getting at least 2 views to really get your opinion about it. That is Moonfall from Lionsgate, Steelbook with slipcover. Look, it's a reference audio disc, no doubt about it. That is cemented, you know, in its legacy. But the movie itself, I can see why a lot of people don't like it. It's funny because my real problems with it is not because it's got kind of a dumb plot. It's just some of the once again, going back to Death on the Nile, some of the CG surroundings are just very distracting. It just took me out of the movie. You can have characters walking around in Coruscant in Star Wars, and I'm like, sure, okay, that's a thing. But if you're like just walking in a regular place on Earth, you shouldn't have to use CG backdrops for that. I mean, I understand costs and everything and cutting budget, but make it at least make the technology look a little more real. That's my opinion. That's what I'm taking away from it. But Moonfall on 4K. I just recently reviewed this one, actually, as of a couple days ago. Singing in the Rain, beautiful 4K transfer from from Warner Brothers. Gorgeous, classic Hollywood movie. Got a great 4K disc. The audio was good. I think it's pretty much ported over from the existing, Blu Ray that was there before. But the picture quality in this is stunning. I think it's beautiful to look at. And I would rank it right up there, you know, with another release, let's say My Fair Lady, I think was absolutely beautiful on 4K. This one is very close to it, if not about on par. Yeah, classic Hollywood cinema, got a great 4K disc, so check it out. And this one I just recently reviewed as well, 12 Monkeys on 4K, released by Arrow Video. If you want to see my video on that, check it out in the video list on my channel. The 4K was okay. The transfer is not the best. It's kind of almost on par with the Blu Ray. But yeah, I'm a fan of the film, and I always want the best possible disc, you know, format for it. So 12 Monkeys, good trippy film, sci-fi, you know, thriller, and it still holds up. It still holds up. It's, you know, it's kind of got that timelessness to it. So yeah, 12 Monkeys is now available on 4K Ultra HD from Arrow Video. So that is everything I picked up on Blu-ray and 4K for April 2022. If you're interested in any of these titles, I will leave an Amazon link in the comment section. If you use it, it really helps out the channel. But I also want to hear from you. What did you pick up in April? Go ahead and let's talk about it in the comments section below. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.